Damn, is our computer working? Damn, we back on YouTube or what? We fresh out or what? What's up, guys? Y'all good, man? I miss you guys, man. Feel like it's Christmas or something, man. I know we've been gone for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Had a little hiccup, but small setback for a huge get back, man. We ready to get to some money. I've been red hot, man. I'm trying to keep it going, man. How y'all been, man? What's up, Junior? How you doing?
Not too bad. Just getting over a really bad cold that I've had for a couple days. But I went 2-1 yesterday on my plays. It's goddamn Denver, man. In the first half, they were playing games down like 15 at the half. They came back and won, but they ended up pushing on the game line. But other than that one bad play, I had Toronto -5 that came through no problem. I had Boston -2. I was a little bit worried in the beginning of that game, but the Celtics, without Luka, they're just a better team, so they came through. What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, yesterday was a little bit of weird for me. A great day, but I didn't play anything against the spread or on the totals, which is very rare for me. I went almost entirely player props. I was telling Jay before we got off the show, I absolutely destroyed Davis Bertans over 18.5 points last night, and he had that at halftime, so that made me feel really good. Want to play on Tobias Harris over the same line, 18.5. That was a great spot for him. And then the Sportsbook had a promotion last night where I got Kemba Walker at 5-1 to be the top scorer of the game. So that was easy. That was the easiest $50 I ever made. So feeling pretty good heading into today because I'm back onto some of these first halves and a couple of full game lines on this little 4-game slate. So I'm feeling really good. Had a nice little week off, like Jay said. It's Christmas come a week early with Jamming with Jay Money back on the air.
Exactly. Yeah, it feel like Christmas to me, man. I had been off. Y'all know I've been going on Jimmy's show yesterday. Felt real good, man. Felt real good yesterday. Y'all know if y'all did watch on Twitch, I wasn't messing around yesterday. Nice little day yesterday. Recap it yesterday real quick. And then I'm gonna go through the chat, man. We got people in the chat. Tasha says she needs some Christmas cake. Me too. Me too. I spent a bunch of money yesterday. I need to get it back. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, the Bulls helped me out though. I told my guy called me up. He said, "What's the play?" I told him, "Hey, I'm on the Bulls. I'm on the Bulls. They down 17 in the fourth quarter. I'm sitting here. I'm walking around the house mad and shit. You know what I'm saying? Not too mad. Game ain't over, but I look back at my phone. It's tied 98-98. Oh shit, we going in with 0 seconds on the clock. It's with late foul for Levine. Two free throws. Oh, we go to OT. He hit both of them. He clutch. He go to OT. I know we finna get OT. End up winning by 1. We cash it. My guy Jimmy cashed on the money line. I cashed my +2 on the Bulls. Maxed it out. That was my play of the day. We cashed it. The Cavs, I can't say I did hop on them a small -2.5. Lost that one, man. I don't know how. So if you had the Charlotte, I know a lot of people had the Hornets. Oh man, you got lucky as a motherfucker. Rozier hit that last 3. It was 100-95. He hit that last 3. It's all good, man. Got to take some L's here. The Heat had them +8. Outright win. Makes me feel good, man. Revenge game Jay back like he never left. Man, why did the 76ers laying 8, 9 points in that game? Went up to 9 right before he No, Heat all day. Jimmy Buckets, Bam Adebayo. My guy Junior know that Heat's his team. I was on the Pistons there. Gasol went out in that game, didn't return. The Pistons still couldn't get it done. I thought it was a little. I was going with the Dwayne Casey revenge game. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it was a revenge game for this year as well. But they couldn't get it done even at the house. It's all good. I still like that look. I wasn't on the OKC and Grizz. OKC showed some again. It's back-to-back games where he came back from 24 points and came back to win the game. That's pretty damn crazy. That's showing something there. But you can't keep continuously getting down by 20 points. The Pelicans, that was easy. I told. How the hell was the Timberwolves laying 7 points regardless? Then Towns got ruled out. How could you not hop on the Pelicans then? I know they lost 13 straight games. They played well versus the Nets the day before. They did come off an overtime game, was in a back-to-back. But I told you guys on Twitter, man, the Timberwolves seemed like when they announced Jared Culver out, it's like they were trying to lose their game on purpose, man. Pelicans, it was easy money there. The Nuggets game was pretty crazy. They was down, 15-16 to the Magic there. Came back and ended up winning by 9. Tied the spread. It was all over the Celtics yesterday. Gordon Hayward got announced out, but we still got the cash there. They came back. And if you was watching the game, you should have hopped on Celtics second half as well. Golden State there with the 10. No one pushed there. I want to say what's up to the chat though, man. We need y'all to hit the like button as well. What's up, fam? Bean say, what's up, fam? Y'all touch the Lakers books. Yeah, we finna get to it, my guy. Beast 360 in here. We got Steve Overlay, Beach Boss. Joe, that's me. What's up, Joe? What's up, Chad? Where Tasha at? Tasha says needs some Christmas. I'm with her, man. The same shit, man. Spending all this damn money. Hey, I need the books to pay for all these presents, man. I got a son. He like to wear Jordan just like me, man. It shit cost some money. Had to get the boy them breads like me. What's up, Nairobi Pittman? Long time viewer. What's up, Jacob Israel? Heart in Hand 77. We got Jay Jerkin here, Tariq McKinney. Sorry if I butchered that a little bit, man. You got a tough name there, my guy. Tough name. We got 4 games today, man. We're gonna try to get to some cash. As y'all can tell, I'm pumped like every day, man. Glad to be back on the show. Glad to be back with my guys, Junior and Jordan. We bagged the Triple J's like we never left. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to get to some money, man. First game of the day, we got the Jazz versus the Hawks here. Jazz have been playing well on the road, only 5-8 on the road, 5-8 ATS on the road. They're laying 6.5 here. I can't say I don't really know why. Where we looking at? What we looking at in this one, Jordan? Where you going in this spot?
In Utah, Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I wasn't. I was trying to type to somebody. My bad. So this is a game where I really want to bet the Jazz, but it's just hard for me on the road because there's completely than they are at home. And I know Atlanta is kind of looking like a team that's kind of thinking about next year already. That John Collins suspension really just killed any of their chances to be competitive in the East this season. It's probably my least favorite game of the night, but I would kind of lean towards Atlanta in the first half of this one just because I think they are in a spot where it's a huge spot for them to bounce back off that really bad game in the last the 2 nights ago. So it's probably one I'm staying away from. But if I do have a lean on this one, I think Atlanta plus the points in the first half might be a pretty sharp play because Utah, of course, still missing Mike Conley. I think that hurts them just a little bit. I think they are a little bit of a different guard with Joe Ingles in that starting lineup and kind of handling the ball a little bit more with Donnie Mitchell. But if it all comes down to Trae Young, really, if he can come out and nobody from the Jazz can stop him, I think they cover this first half. If not, Utah's probably going to slowly start building that lead and kind of start running away with it at the end of the game. So kind of one I'm probably going to stay away from. Possibly take a look at the props in this one, but nothing against Redford.
Exactly. I could definitely see that. I mean, like you say, the Jazz here, they are 0-4 ATS last 4 games following the ATS win. That's their spot they're in now. It was a close ATS win. They barely covered their game, but they did cover it. They hadn't looked well late at home or on the road. I can't say the Jazz here. If you look at the Hawks, man, the past couple of games, so obviously against the Knicks, that was just a terrible spot for them. They got up versus the Lakers, only lost by 5 at the house versus the Lakers. The last 2 home games, they kept it close versus much superior teams in them. The Pacers, they only lost that game by 10 points. That was a little close. It was a close game. It was a 4-point game late in there, and they just missed shots, turnovers there late in the game. Pacers ended up getting a cover in that spot. Then the Lakers, they took them down to the wire. That was a 3-point game down there as well. End up 5. They end up covering the spread easily versus the Lakers here. So if they could play the way they did versus the Pacers and the Lakers at the house, I think there's a little bit of step down in competition as far as the Jazz. I can't say the way I'm looking at this game, I can only look towards the Hawks, man. I know that the Jazz had a much better defense. The Hawks had a better offense, man, and the Jazz defense hadn't really all the way been there lately. Then Conley out as well. He was in the last game. Now he out again. I'm leaning towards the Hawks here. It's tough to get here, but the home dog is definitely barking here, man. I think they're live to win this game as well. What you thinking in this spot, Junior?
I don't have anything on this game, no official play, but I would lean Hawks plus 6.5. I think that, like you just mentioned, the last couple of home games have been pretty close. I don't really know what happened to them in that New York game, but the big difference for me here is that the Hawks at home, they play better defense for whatever that's worth. On the road, they're giving up 125 points a game. So a little home cooking is going to serve them nice. They're a really young team, obviously. So young teams just always tend to play better at home. I mean, everybody plays better at home, but their statistics are so wild defensively at home compared to on the road that I would lean Jazz plus 6.5. Not only because of what I've just said, but Utah hasn't looked good for a really long time. Like, if you look at the wins that Utah has, they're not getting quality wins. And no matter what, we can't just blindly look at streaks without looking at the quality of the wins that go with these streaks, right? So they beat Orlando, they beat Golden State, they beat Minnesota, they beat Memphis. If I have to go back to the last quality win, I'm pretty sure I said this the last time that I was on the show, or last time that we did a show. They haven't won a big game since like the first week of November when they beat the Bucks. It's a long time ago. It's ever since then, anytime they come up against any kind of resistance, they don't look great. I'm not laying 6.5 points on the road with a team that hasn't looked good in like 6 weeks.
Exactly. And I mean, And like we were saying in the last game, Junior, we were sure they should have been laying 6.5 at the house. I mean, I know that was a Magic team that plays really good defense, but their offense isn't good. We know a team that can score really good. And today's NBA can be in any game. If Trae Young goes off, I mean, he has been obviously the best offensive player by the team by far. Nobody else could seem to really do anything. I know the last game he had 42, 43 points. The rest of the team only had like 42 points. So it was pretty crazy stat there. But I see Steve Overlay. He's saying the Hawks are 1-4 ATS last 5 games. So what? They stepped up versus the Lakers. If you could step up versus the Lakers in that type of game, play that same type of energy. I mean, that's why they had a letdown spot versus the Knicks. If they could bring that same type of energy at the house, you look at the Jazz. When the last time they covered 2 straight spreads in a row? It hadn't happened in the past 10 games. Both teams are 4-6 ATS past 10 games. So I mean, the same things. Yeah, the Hawks have been losing, but this is a game that they could still lose by 3 or 4 points, and they could still win for us better. So, me personally, I might get there with the Hawks. It's going up. That's the reason why I don't weigh this shit. It might touch 7. I might get there with the Hawks. I think this is a spot for them at the house where they could be a live dog here and possibly get this win. Man, I'm telling y'all, the Jazz do not look like the Jazz of years past, and I'm a Jazz fan, but not right now. Them boys are struggling, bro, for real. Like I say, the Hawks bring it like they have the past 2 games. Like Jordan said, they definitely could come out here hot in the first half. Appreciate it, Kelvin. Hey, I'm glad to be back. So I think that the Hawks are the right side in this game. I hadn't played it yet. I can't say I wasn't a big fan of this card. When I initially looked at it, it's still got to look at stuff deep. Like I say, only way I could look at this one is the Hawks, man. Let's get into the marquee game of the day. One where it's always tough for me. I know me personally. I want to see what you guys have to say about it. But I know for me, I'm always weary of backing the team on the last game of a road trip. Very weary. Unless they've maybe lost 2 or 3 straight games. I know that the Lakers are coming off a loss with that long streak that they had with 14 straight road wins. I'm always one to say when a streak is broken, then the team kind of sort of relaxes a little bit. I don't think that the Lakers are that type of team. They will come to play here. Pretty sure Davis gonna play. He was a little banged up last game. Probably could have played, but in this one, we know that they were saving themselves for this one. I was on the page. I said it was probably a look ahead spot for this one. It's tough backing them. It's the last game of a 5-game road trip. They're playing a tough team versus the Bucks. The Bucks coming off a loss as well. It would have been really nice if the Bucks would have lost the last game. If they would have won the last game versus the Mavs, and then the Lakers trying to come in here and end their streak. It's not the case. So me personally, it's a totally different cap now. And I do think that the Lakers are a little bit better than the Bucks, and especially without the Bucks having their starting point guard and Eric Bledsoe, the Lakers should be a full squad here. Well, other than Kuzma, they're still missing him as well. But this Lakers team is a deep team, man. I hate the fact that it's the last game of a 5-game road trip. What you looking at this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I want to just backtrack just a second here to 2 nights ago when Anthony Davis got ruled out, because if we would have had a show, we would have made me and Jay. I don't know if Junior was on it, but me and Jay were definitely all over the Pacers in that instance before and after the news. And this is kind of a similar situation, but I think in this instance, I think 4 points actually has the possibility of Anthony Davis being out again, baked into it just a little bit. So I don't think there's going to be a ton of value on the Bucks -4 if he gets ruled out again. I'm sure it'll move a couple points, so I think there will be some room for grabbing the Bucks here. But for me, I'm not touching the Lakers at all. Not only just with the Anthony Davis potential, but the Bucks are still a really good team. They may be the best team in the league. We don't know. I know they're without their starting point guard, but they got a ton of point guard depth. Dante DiVincenzo's been playing well in the starting lineup. They got George Hill, solid veteran coming off the bench. I'm not too concerned about the Bledsoe injury. I am concerned about Kuzma and potentially Anthony Davis being out, though, because that's 2 very key front court players against a team that has some problems in the front court. Obviously, Giannis is plays power forward, but he's not really a true power forward, but they're going to struggle to guard him. LeBron just can't guard Giannis the entire game and expect to score this game if Anthony Davis is out. That's just a recipe for disaster tonight. So I'm hesitant to take the Bucks here because I think Davis could play, and I think that line could go down a little bit. But if he gets ruled out, I'll probably be jumping on the Bucks here a little bit, laying 4 points, just because at home they have been just a machine this year, especially in the first half, which is where I think I'd probably lean if Anthony Davis is out more so than the full game. But I'll probably end up being on both tonight. Like Jay said, you can't really trust the Lakers here with their best player being potentially out and on the last game of a road trip. It's just a recipe for disaster tonight. Christmas Day is coming up. That's why I kind of lean towards Anthony potentially sitting out again, just because I know they want him healthy for that game. So if he's not anywhere close to 100% tonight, or even if he is less than 100%, I think he might sit out again. So I think he did say that he hopes to play. I don't think he said I'm going to play or anything like that. So I think that's really the only thing we have going for him right now. Haven't seen any shoot-around news yet, but I'm looking out for that as well here coming up. That should come out pretty soon of whether or not he participated in shoot-arounds. So I think it really all revolves around Davis tonight. But I do think that this line probably has the potential, the possibility of him sitting out baked into it just a little bit right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I think that me personally, I do think he'll play. You do have a damn good point there. They do have that huge game coming up on Christmas versus the Clippers there. So, I mean, you do have a point there. Like I say, the way that I was looking at this setup for it, I mean, I kind of look in the future a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking that the Bucks would still be on their streak here, and I was thinking that the Lakers they was probably going to lose versus the Pacers. Look ahead to this game and end their streak. I mean, the line opened up at 4.5, come back down to 4. So that's the only reason why I don't necessarily think that they already think AD is going to be out. I mean, like you say, if AD is ruled out, you know this is going to close the Bucks -6. You know, it might even be -6.5. Money's going to pile in on them. So I don't really think that. I mean, and it's always crazy, bro, guys. Like we say, so we always look at lines, especially lately. It's been a lot of injury news. Trust me, because I've been on top of this shit. My locals don't change the lines lately. I've been on top of it. Trust me. So. Well, you always kind of look into a line when it's supposedly baked in. Prime example yesterday, the Timberwolves was open at 8.5, and so now Karl Anthony Towns is questionable, so they bring it down to 7. So I'm like, okay, so why is there? It says 7 with Karl Anthony Towns looking like he's not gonna play, and then when he finally get announced out, that's when you see the line totally plummet all the way down to 4.5, closed at 3 for the game. Well, obviously Jared Cope was announced out as well, so it's kind of crazy because they'll kind of bake it into the line, but still. When the players actually announced out, it's going to move whichever way. If Anthony Davis ruled in, you're going to see it come down to 3. So I don't really know. Sometimes it's kind of crazy there with the line. What's your thoughts on this game, Junior?
I'm just taking the points with the Lakers because it's just the best price you're going to see on this team for a while. And I'm just kind of done fading them. Ever since we said that taking them in that Utah game was a bad spot, they've won every game since then. So I don't really know what more I need to convince me that they're about their business. LeBron is about their business. And I agree and disagree with Jordan in one respect. I think LeBron probably is going to guard Giannis, but just in crunch time, though. I don't think that he's going to start off the game guarding Giannis. They're just going to see how that goes. But when it comes to crunch time, I think LeBron's going to be on Giannis. And it works both ways, right? Like, who's guarding LeBron? So he had that little thing where he tried to pretend that he's against load management. The fact of the matter is he's not resting at all. I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Davis plays. And I'm going to be honest with you. Even if Anthony Davis doesn't play, I just think the Bucks, the way they've looked at home, they do the same thing every time. They blow you out in the first half, and in the second half, they kind of let teams hang around. Now, obviously, they're not stupid enough to let the Lakers hang around, but I just think that the Lakers front court against this Bucks front court, I don't know. I don't see why I wouldn't take points with the Lakers, considering that they're just not losing games, you know?
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. And if you look the way the Bucks played versus the Mavs, they had a full squad. Mavs coming there without Luka. Now, don't get it wrong. My Mavs team is nice now, even without Luka, as people can see. Even with the Celtics there yesterday. I was on the Celtics. It was a bit of a sweat there late. The Celtics had to pull away there and make it a double-digit game. And the Mavs just couldn't hit a shot yesterday in the second half. But they went in there and beat the Bucks as 11-point dogs without Luka. So if you come in there with some fight, come in there with defensive intensity, you kind of can let Giannis get his and make the rest of the team beat you. That's the only thing that scares me about the Bucks right now. I like this Bucks team. I think that they're going to come out the East. I don't like the fact that they let Brogdon go, though, because I think this team was a different fucking beast. You see what Brogdon's doing over there in Indiana. I know Jordan sees what Brogdon's doing over there. That was a key piece for them last year, and I do think they'll probably try to get over the hump this year. They're still a damn good team, but in this particular case, like Junior says, man, the Lakers are a damn good team, and me personally, man, I don't think Davis is gonna miss this game. I don't think that he's gonna. He sat the last game. I think he probably could have played now if he wanted to. I mean, you guys be banged up for a while. They could play if they want to, man. I think they got something to prove in this one. Both teams coming off a loss. So it's definitely be a game I want to watch, maybe in play. I mean, whichever. If the Bucks come out hot, you might have to hop on the Lakers, put some points. Lakers come out hot, get a little double-digit lead, you hop on the other team. So it's a damn good game to watch. I can't say I didn't have anything on the total either. Any quick looks on the total, Jordan, did you have?
If I did, I think I'll probably have to bet the under just because if Davis does play, and then once again, back to the key of if he does or doesn't play, because if he doesn't play, their defense loses a lot of versatility. I love JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard down low, but them going as small with AD at the center is also a very, very viable defensive lineup. So if he plays, probably, I mean, this is the thing too, if he misses, the under's probably going to get steamed too. So it's like a weird thing with the total in this one. So I will probably lay off. But honestly, if he plays, I think that actually helps the under a little bit. I may be overthinking that a little bit, but he's just such an important piece on both ends of the court for them. So it might just be one you just lay off of. But everything that I've looked at, if this is a defensive style of game, and these two teams are going at it like it's a playoff game, I could see the under in both the first half and the full game being good plays. I'm not on it yet. I'll probably lay off just because it's just not a great scenario with the Davis injury either way. So, but I definitely have a lean on the under on both the first half and the full game in this one.
Exactly. My only thing about the unders, man, with the damn Bucks, last 5 games, they number 5 in pace. For a while there, they were number 1. They like pushing the pace, man, and I don't really like, because I mean, I do think they're a good defensive team, but when Giannis get the ball, he going straight, so he gets up from basket to basket in 7 fucking gallops. His big long ass, so he like a gazelle out there running, boy, and he get a lot of fouls as well. So I didn't got burnt taking some unders with the Bucks here, but I could see it. I mean, it could be a playoff intensity game. Y'all know me, when 2 top echelon teams get together, I usually like to look at under or I stay away, man. But it could be a fast-paced game. I'm staying away from the total. It's tough. If Davis is in, though, I am leaning towards the Lakers plus the points. It's tough, though, on the last game of road trip. Let's get to this next game, man. We got the Nets versus the Spurs, man. Don't look at this. Hey, the Spurs. The boy is terrible. ATS. I ain't gonna stunt, man. 7-18-1 on the year. They went out there and smacked the Rockets though in their first half. I can tell you that they was up 20 in that game. I made some nice in-play money as well in that game. I knew that the Rockets were finna lose 2 in a row to the Spurs. Their in-state rivalry. Made some nice in-play money on the Rockets money line there when they was down. Came back and got the job done for me. But I did tell you, I was like, the Spurs was showing me something there. They came to play there versus in Houston as well, and that was, in my opinion, that was a total letdown spot for the Spurs. They had played 4 straight overtime games. Was coming off the game in Mexico City. You know, it was just a terrible spot for them, and they still came to play. And I thought even they was gonna come out flat. A lot of people did. I know my guys was on the Rockets first quarter and first half, and they just came out. I don't know. Spurs really came out there and smacked them in the mouth, man. I don't know if it was the Rockets came out lollygagging or Spurs coming to play, but I do think that there's a side in this game, and I'll tell you why. And it's not just because the Spurs, the Nets scared me the last game, man. They went in overtime and beat the Pelicans. Their final score is not how the game went. The Pelicans should have won that game in regulation. The Nets deserve to lose it, and I think it's gonna pay off in this particular spot. They won 2 straight games. Yeah. So they beat Philly by 20. That's nice. I was on them. No Joel Embiid. So now they go down to New Orleans, beat them. And like I say, they were supposed to lose that game. And now they go to San Antonio where they hadn't won in forever. I know going back to the last 10 games meetings, they hadn't won the past 5 in San Antonio. I don't think they won the past 16 times playing in San Antonio. I know it's only so much you could take into account. They're different teams, different players, all the different coaches. Still, it's something I can't ignore. And still, watching that last game, I think the Nets, they just showed me something. I mean, you let the Pelicans lock you up, man. I mean, the Pelicans playing damn good defense versus the Nets. When you really break it down, their roster, they got Dinwiddie and Harris. And Joe Harris, that's their main scorers. Other than that, it's not a really whole lot of production out of them. You need somebody else to kind of sort of go off or get streaky. I don't think that'll happen tonight, man. If the Spurs keep playing the way they've been playing lately here, play the way they did versus the Rockets, I don't like the game versus the Suns, though. That was bullshit. That should have been an easy win without Booker there. They was bullshitting. Last time they were at the house, they lost an overtime game to Cavs. I don't think they're losing this game at the house. I think the Spurs are on the right side in this one, and I'm gonna get on them. I don't give a damn what nobody says. Send me all the flag. But Spurs, I think they're gonna cash this one, man. I think the Nets gonna run out of gas. I don't think they have enough offensive weapons. Both teams last 5 in defensive rating. The Nets are number 3. The Spurs number 6. That's why I'm looking towards the under in this one. Both teams have been playing really good defense lately. If you look at it, I'm leaning toward. I like the under in this. I hadn't bet it yet, but I really like the Spurs in this spot, man. My guy called me right for the show. He probably watching it. LB, if you're in this chat, tell him right now, my guy. Drop a chat. He say, I think the Spurs the right side. He say you tell him on the show. So I am. What you thinking, Junior?
I don't have a play on the side. I don't have a play at all in this game. If I did have one, I would take the under 219. I think Brooklyn has been doing what they've been doing with defense, because you laid it out. They only really have one reliable scorer right now. Joe Harris has been making his shots, but I'm not going to call Joe Harris a reliable scorer right now. I would say that in the last couple of games he's been, but I mean, you saw him on Team USA. He's a streaky guy. I know he won the 3-point contest and all that, but being like, for example, what Spencer Dinwiddie has been doing is really underrated. He basically just took over an NBA team and is like, all right, a superstar is down. I got this. There's not too many guys that could do that. So if you're counting on Joe Harris to be the second guy, I'm not. I don't believe in that on the road. San Antonio. I actually watched that Rockets game. They look pretty good in that Rockets game, man. I don't know if they got the Rockets number or what, but they look solid in that game, bro. And I just think that after losing against the Cavaliers at home, and I had San Antonio in that game, I don't think they're going to drop 2 in a row. When was the last time Brooklyn even won in San Antonio? I know it wasn't. It's not been a lot since they've been a team. So it would be Spurs or nothing. But my actual look, if I had a free play, would be the under 219, because, like I said, Brooklyn's not going to come in there and try to run up and down. You think that that's what they would want to do, but that's not how they've been playing since they've gotten on their act together. They're actually a much slower team than what you would think they are. And I think the Spurs have been playing defense all of a sudden. We'll see if that carries over tonight. The 219 and under 219 would be my lean.
What you thinking, Jordan? I know you're a real numbers guy. What you telling? What? Come on, the under got to be the play in this game, Jordan. What the advanced analytics say in this spot?
It's tough for me to bet the under just because of how fast these two teams tend to play in the first half. So if you see a game where the pace is up in the first half, the full game, and both teams, like, say the defense just doesn't come for one or both of the teams, and then you're playing at a pace of like 103 in the first half, and then you got a first half score like 58 to 55 or something like that, then that's going to kill your under value. So that's the only thing keeping me away from the under on the full game. But I do agree with you. I definitely lean that way. But I do have actually a play on this game. Speaking of first halves, I'm just going to ditto all the concerns, all the accolades of the Spurs in the full game spot here, because I was leaning towards the Nets, and then I just kind of started handicapping this one a little bit more, and I kind of decided to lay off the Nets, even though I think plus 3.5 still maybe a half a point too high for them. But I'm actually on the Nets in the first half of this one, simply because if you look at the numbers for the Spurs here in the first half of games, whether it's at home, on the road, lately or not, their offense has just been really, really inefficient. They rank in the bottom third of the league the last 5 games in first half. At home, they rank in the bottom third of the league in first half offensive efficiency. If the Nets defense is as good as we think it is, which I think it's generally been pretty good, I think they have the ability to keep the Spurs down in the high 40s, low 50s tonight in the first half. And if that's the case, I do think they cover here plus 1.5. I might even sprinkle a little bit on that first half money line. Finally, though, I mean, there's not too many games where teams are going to come in and Greg Popovich is going to have a coach that's on his level. But I think Kenny Atkinson is low-key one of the most undervalued coaches in the league. He turned that Nets team last year. Nobody thought they were going to do anything into a playoff team. And then this year he's been coaching his ass off, basically missing his 3 best players if you count Kevin Durant in that, who's obviously not going to play this entire year. So, I mean, if you add everything up with the way they've been playing, and especially with how good they've been offensively, defensively on the road in first halves, which is another key to I think in this one. I think the Nets can be either tied or ahead here at the first half. The Spurs have been a second half team. The Greg Popovich is a master coming out and just beating you up in the third quarter. But in the first two quarters, I like the Nets' chances here in this one. I got him plus 1.5, and I'm probably going to end up being on their money line as well for a little bit less than what I got him on the points.
Yeah, I think you should take the under, me personally. With the points that you made, I feel like if you think that they're going to hold the Spurs down like that, me personally, I think that the way that I was listening to it, I thought that you were about to say the first half under. I mean, I'm not going to knock your play. I think this is a Spurs spot all the way. I think this could be a trifecta spot where they come out and smack the Nets. If they come out with defense and hold them down, come out with that same intensity they did versus the Rockets. Did you see DeJounte Murray there with the Harden? He weren't backing down whatsoever. They've had a couple of days off. The under is 6-1 when they the last 7 games when they've had 2 days off. The Spurs, no, the under is actually 8-2 last 10 games when they had 2 days of rest. So I mean, I know the Spurs hadn't looked well lately, but against this Nets team, the way that my thing is the way that they played the last game and versus the Raptors, their game on the road as well, they came out there and got smacked. I mean, I was on the Nets in that game. I wish they would have only lost by 7, but they didn't. But like I say, that game versus the Pelicans scared me. I mean, the Pelicans came to play today. They're not a good defensive team, and they shut the Nets down. And then Harris got whatever he wanted. The rest of the team couldn't get nothing, man. Then we had to go out for 31 points in this spot. So me personally, I just don't think that the Nets going to look good in this particular spot. I don't think they have enough offense to stay in this game. I like the Spurs in the trifecta here. I like them to come out hot, to come out pissed off like they did in the Rockets game, and I don't think they're going to give up the lead. And I do think that this is a defensive game. But the Nets should probably try to slow the game down. Spurs don't have a ton of three-point shooters. They try to get into the hole. They got LaMarcus Aldridge, who the mid-range king. They don't have really a whole lot of three-point shooters out there, and they've been playing some defense here lately, man. So I like for both teams to clamp down. I'll be liking the first half under. I haven't been playing a lot of halves, so I'm not finna talk anybody out the half. I just been playing my full games. I like the full game under here, 219, 218.5, and I like the Spurs here, -3, man. It was down to 2.5. It's back up to 3. I could see it going to 3.5, man. I think money's gonna come here on Spurs. And inside info from my guy Jay here, say Jay Patel, not me. I know I'm Jay as well, but my guy said it was a shooting in San Antonio last night. He think that they come out and play for the city. I could definitely say something I definitely got to look into right after this. But regardless of that, I already like them. It's a bet against spot for the Nets for me, and it's a bet on spot for the Spurs. And if we have some added motivation there, Jay Patel, I'm gonna smash it. Let's get to the next game, man. We got the Rockets versus the Clippers. Huge game, man. Huge game. These teams have already played 2 times this year. The home team has won each time. So this is going to be a huge one. What you looking at this one, Jordan? You got an angle in this one?
Yeah, I do. This is my other official play of the day. I got the under 235.5 in this one. It's another instance where, and this is just not to backtrack, but just a second. This is what kept me off of the first half total in the Nets game. Is you're looking at a full game total of 219. The first half is like a 106.5. So if it was higher than half of the full game, then I might look at the first half under. But this is another instance where you see two teams that play a lot faster actually in the first halves than they do in the full game. Now they still play fucking fast. I mean, obviously in the first half, but it goes down a little bit full game, especially if you look at the Rockets here on the road. I think that they're gonna come out, and actually this could be another style of game where we see, like we were talking about in LA and Milwaukee, where it's kind of a playoff style atmosphere. Plus, they've already played each other twice, and I think when you start to see those, I think almost always in the NBA where teams start to play each other the third and fourth time in a year, especially this early in the year where they played 3 times before Christmas, they've probably figured some stuff out about each other offensively. They have 2 games with each other now, against each other, looking at the sets they're running, trying to scout those out and figure that out a little bit. I think only naturally the score is going to go down a little bit. The last time they played obviously is a little concerning to this angle here of mine, but the first time they played without PG in the lineup when he was still missing, it was a really low scoring game. I can't remember, one of the teams fell below 100 points. I think it was the Rockets in that one. I can't remember. I have to go back and look. But this one I could really see it start to slow down in the second half, especially if they're missing shots in the first half, which I think is very much in the potential here for Houston, because the Clippers have been absolutely devastatingly good in the first half defensively in Staples Center all year, no matter who's playing, whether or not it's PG or Kawhi sitting or both now in the lineup. I think that only helps the defense in this one. So I'm gonna lean towards the full game here and the under here. Definitely I'm leaning towards the first half under as well. Already taking the full game under at 235.5. But if this one, as long as James Harden's not going nuts offensively, which PG and Kawhi, one of those two guys is going to be on him all game tonight. So that's going to not be good news for James Harden in this one. I just feel like this one could get into being more of a playoff style game, a little bit slower pace in the second half. I think 235.5 is just way too many points. Not way too many, but definitely at least 4 or 5 too many, I think, for this spot.
Yeah, me personally, man, I like Beverly on Harden. I love seeing that.
Yeah, I forgot about Pat Bev. He's back too now.
I think he gets into Harden's head. He gets into any player head. Y'all got to put the camera back on me, man. I got some shit to say now, man. It's my turn. But the Beverly, he gets all up in his face, man. He flusters on Harden, but me personally, like I say, I could definitely see that being a defensive game. I can tell you one thing that's going to help Russell Westbrook. I don't know how many times have I said this? Why he keeps shooting threes? Bro, you could be wide open. Doink, boing. Come on, bro. Just pass the ball. Go in. Either shoot. If you're not shooting in the paint, I don't want to see you shoot at all. Russell don't even have the mid-range no more, bro. He's definitely going to help out the under. I can definitely tell you that. Like you say, as long as Harden doesn't go off for anything crazy, I do think it'll be a sneaky defensive game. I can't say the Clippers, their offense has picked up. I mean, and they have Spurs where they play super fast. In their last game, I think we was on the under as well. They only end up going to 240. But this is the one after this. So usually you'll see kind of a how do you say it, back and forth with the overs and unders when teams keep meeting. The first game, like you say, went all the way under. It was 102.93 for the Rockets there. Next game was 122.119 for the Clippers there. We know there's a lot of foul calls called in that game, as known in Harden's game. I don't have a look on it. The total has this thing. I mean, the over is just being steamed. That's why you got it at 235.5. What did it open? 232 or something like that. So, I mean, it could continue to go up. Y'all know me, man. Games like this, high intensity, I think it'll be a playoff type game. Yeah, open at 232.5, has been bid up to 235.5. Looks like the Clippers, their touch 5.5 is back down to 5 now. I think the Clippers will win this game, but we know that this game could come down to the last position. I was on the Clippers in the last game, and they only won by 3, and this shit ran me high, and it's the same spread, -5. So it'd be interesting to see if the Clippers can get it done here. The way the Rockets been playing, I can't say it. I mean, they better come to play today, because the way the Rockets been playing, the way the Clippers been playing, in my opinion, they kind of not necessarily going in two opposite directions, but lately, like the Rockets losing by being down by 20 to Spurs at the house in that spot, revenge that spot, that scares me here. I can only look towards the Clippers. I'm not betting the Rockets here, but it doesn't surprise me that last game when it came down to the last possession. You could definitely see that happen in these type of games. Maybe throw the Clippers in a little money line parlay or see if you can get them in game. I definitely like the Clippers to win this game. It just depends. I'm not sure if I could. If I had to bet it, I'd be on the Clippers -5, and I definitely do like the under. I'm pretty sure I'll get there. I'm gonna wait to see if it goes to 236. I do like the under in this spot. I think it'll be a defensive game this time around. You got damn good defenders on both ends, on both sides of the both teams. So this is gonna be a real good matchup, man. I don't think this one's gonna get to 240 like the last one did, man. I don't think we see as many foul calls. Hopefully the Rockets come to play some defense. Hopefully Westbrook keeps shooting the damn ball. What you thinking, Junior?
Yeah, I got the Clippers -5.5. I just think that I don't like this matchup for the Rockets, to be honest with you. And you know, sometimes recency bias can go into your handicapping, but what I saw against the Spurs, when I picture the Clippers, at home in a situation, the last 5 games, the Clippers have been outscoring teams. They've been scoring 128 a game their last 5 and allowing 109. So what Jordan said, defensively, they're really on it. They're scoring at will. And I just think that, for example, the game that Jordan was referencing, the Clippers beat the Rockets 102-93. James Harden scored 47 points, and the Rockets had 93 total. That's some high school shit. Those are the type of things you see in high school. If now they got PG to add to Pat, Bev, and Kawhi that can all go at Harden, I just think that if I'm relying on the Houston Rockets, the others, because you mentioned Westbrook, and I get told that I'm a Westbrook hater, and it's not that I'm a Westbrook hater, but bro, if you shoot 23% from 3, that's like horrific, bro. He's shooting 22.8% from 3. Bro, you've never even heard of a number like that from so like he needs to take the Rondo approach. Rondo only shoots threes if he's like wide open and no one runs at him. Other than that, Westbrook should never shoot a three in his life. On top of all of the things I just said, when I look at the Rockets front court, lately they've been playing with one big man. Other than Clint Capella, who's their other big man? They don't have another big man. So how are they supposed to match up with Zubac and Montrezl Harrell, who basically split the minutes at center? You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like this matchup in any way, shape, or form for the Rockets. I've been fading the Rockets a lot this season, then I kind of turned it around. But what I'm seeing in their last couple of games is what I saw at the beginning of the season, which is why I can't bet. It's Clippers or nothing for me. And I honestly believe that 5.5 for the Clippers at home right now is a really cheap price, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see it. And like I say, it's the same spread as the last game, man. We do got to get out of here. We'll definitely be back tomorrow. The Rockets do have, not that he's worth mentioning. I mean, he's not a bad player. He is pretty old, but they do have another big man, Tyson Chandler. But you're still right, though. It's a terrible matchup for the Rockets. They still missing Eric Gordon. You need players like that in these type of games. He's a defensive guard. He hits threes much better than Russell Westbrook. I don't know why he's still taking them. He talking about why not thing. No, why are you still fucking shooting, boy? I mean, you got money on the Rockets. Like I say, that last spot versus Spurs scared me. That was it was a bet against spot for the Spurs, bet on spot for the Rockets, revenge game, everything, and they came out flat as a fucking pancake. And if you think DeJounte Murray got in his face and had James Harden, you know what I'm saying, in his fields or whatever, what the hell you think Beverly gonna do? Or Paul George or this environment here, man.
You saw that DeJounte Murray wanted all that smoke, bro. He wasn't scared. He wanted all of it. He wasn't scared at all, bro.
And DeJounte Murray's a bad man. That's why.
No, but Murray wants more smoke tonight. And he's going to get it. He's matched up against Dinwiddie, and I hope Murray come to fucking play. And if he does hold Dinwiddie to around 20, 25, it's going to be an easy win for the Spurs. That's my best look of the day, man. That's my most confident look of the day. I like the under net spot as well. Love the under, but I think the Spurs they're going to come to play today. The Nets, bring that same energy that you did versus the Pelicans today, and you're going to get your ass blown out by 20. I'm telling you. We got to get out of here. Let me hit y'all with some college picks real quick, man. I like NC State, man, plus the 7.5. I think they could possibly hand Auburn their first loss of the day today. It is in Auburn, but I think they could keep this one at least within 5-6 points. Like we said, we get 7.5 in the game where I think they can win. I like NC State there is the dog. I'm looking at Hofstra. The line is going up to 3.5. I don't know why. I think they're better than Princeton. I do think I'm liking with that plus 3.5, man. I like South Alabama. I did get it at 4.5, man. It's up to 5.5 now against App State. South Alabama preseason was supposed to be number 1 in their conference, man, and now they're starting to play like I think South Alabama gonna get it done there. Was going to hop on Maryland, man. See how I got a couple of starters out, but the line is getting too high now. And Northeastern, man, I'm looking at Northeastern versus Detroit, man. The Northeastern better get it together versus Detroit. They better. And I know a lot of people liking Wofford. I was on them last game versus North Carolina, but I think Duke gonna smash the shit out them boys tonight, man. Hadn't bet it yet. I'm gonna let it come down. The Sharpe's like in Wofford, got it down to 17.5. I think Duke gonna flex their muscle in this game. They saw Wofford beat North Carolina the last game. That was without Cole Anthony though, so we'll see here. Leaning towards the Hawks there as the home dog. Definitely see them come out hot in the first half. My guy Junior says, my guy Jordan likes the same thing. I'm gonna let you guys recap your plays real quick. We gotta get out here in 2 minutes. What's your plays, Jordan?
Yeah, I just got 2 official ones, under 235.5 for Houston and the Clippers. And then I got Brooklyn first half right now. I think it's a game where if they do come to play in the first half, I don't know if Jay's San Antonio bet's going to be good for the full game, but it scared me off enough to just take the Nets in the first half and stay off them in the full game.
What you got, Junior? You know I got to close this motherfucker out. With
the I'll be quick. I got the Lakers plus the 4.5. You're not going to see a price like that too often this season. And I got the Clippers minus 5.5. Clippers are surging, and I don't like the Rockets roster against this Clippers roster.
I like it. My guy Junior, man, get better, man. I know how it is. I was sick as well, man. I'm on Jimmy's show all down and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm still come on there giving out locks, but all down and shit. But I'm better now. and the cash has made me that way. I'm leaning towards the Lakers as well. I hadn't got there, man. I hadn't got there. It's an intriguing game, one that I would say maybe in play, man. It's a huge game, huge game. Definitely going to be watching it. So I like to in play some games. I do lean towards the under there in the Lakers, but I'm staying off so far. I like the Spurs there, minus the 3, man. I like them. I think it's at that 3 for a reason, man. The way these two teams have been playing lately, that's why you see the spread here. Spurs hadn't been a good ATS team. The last time they were at the house, they lost to the lowly Cavs, man. I think they're going to come to play today. Got some inside info this one as well. They come to play for their city. A little mall shooting, 4 people hurt and no one. So I think the Spurs will come to play here in this spot. And I think the Nets, they showed me something there versus the Pelicans that, the Pelicans can lock them down and hold them to just Dinwiddie and Harris. The Spurs will do it collectively as a team. Come on, Murray. Come to fucking play today like you did versus Harden. And I might get there with the Clips, man. I do think the spot, they playing much better than the Rockets are right now. Westbrook, just sit tonight. Just sit out tonight, bro. I like the under in this spot as well. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put something on that under. I like for this to be a defensive game, and I might have to take the Clippers here again. Once again, we took them last time -5. They only won by 3, but this time I think they're gonna cash. Let's cash it with the Spurs, man. Let's cash with the Spurs. My bookie hates me. The local hates me. He's gonna kick me out, but he has to take my action right now. Leche, hey, los bookmakers.